I'm going to start things off with my dough. Into my saucepan, I'm going to add in 1 cup of water, half a cup of unsalted butter, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Heat this mixture over medium-high heat until that butter is completely melted. Once the mixture comes up to simmer, add in 1 cup of all-purpose flour and stir that in. Once you add the flour in, you want to cook the mixture for about a minute or until the dough pulls together into a ball. Allow the cooked mixture to cool for about 5 to 7 minutes until it's warm to touch. And now it's time to beat in the eggs one at a time. Drop one in. I'm going to transfer this mixture into a large pastry bag, and today I'm using tip number 8FT. I've lined 2 baking sheets with mats. Parchment paper will also work great for this recipe. Now I'm just going to pipe the eclairs onto the pans. My custard, I'm going to place 2 egg yolks into a mixing bowl and add 1/3 cup of white granulated sugar. Whisk this together until I get a pale mixture. And to thicken the custard, I've measured out 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of water. Mix that into a slurry. Then pour it into the sugar and egg yolk mixture. And in a saucepan, I'm going to create the second half of my custard. I've measured out 1.5 cups of milk. Going to pour that in. And add 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour. Whisk in the flour and then heat this mixture until it's just simmering hot. My milk is now steaming hot, so I'm going to slowly pour it into my egg yolk and sugar mixture. And whisk it after each addition. My 2 mixtures are combined together. Now I'm going to pour this custard mixture back into my saucepan and cook the custard until it reaches pudding-like consistency. And now for my final 2 ingredients, I have 1 tablespoon of Kahlua liqueur and 1 tablespoon of instant coffee. Stir that in. Transfer the coffee custard into a large bowl, and now I'm going to drop some plastic wrap. You want to make sure that it touches the surface of the custard so that while it's cooling, it doesn't form a film on the top. I'm going to set this into my fridge and let it cool completely. Once your eclairs are baked, you want to let them cool completely on a wire rack, then use a wooden dowel or a filling tip like this one. This is Wilton tip number 230, and you're going to want to punch 3 holes into the bottom of each eclair. My coffee custard is completely cooled down, and I'm going to whip it up with my hand mixer. Next, add in 1/4 cup of softened butter, and I'm going to add in a tablespoon at a time, mixing after each addition. Then transfer the custard into a pastry bag, and I'm using the same Wilton tip number 230. And now for my chocolate glaze, I have 1 cup of chocolate chips. To that, I'm going to add in 1/3 cup of hot heavy cream. Let that set for a few minutes and then stir it until it's completely smooth. Then dip the top of each eclair into the chocolate. And for some garnishments, you could try adding some white chocolate over the top. sprinkle on some gold sprinkles. These are so pretty. And I definitely have to cut one of these open so you guys can see what it looks like on the inside. Look at that, piped full of cream. You have the empty eclair shells with that coffee cream. That's just the way you want them to be.